We manage many products, such as potassium permanganate, sodium formate, potassium alum, polyterephthalic acid, lithium carbonate, zinc carbonate, phosphorus pentoxide. What is phosphorus pentoxide?
What is phosphorus pentoxide? Phosphorus pentoxide is an inorganic compound. Chemical formula P2O5. It is a white powder, insoluble in acetone, ammonia, soluble in sulfuric acid, mainly used as a desiccant, dehydrating agent, can also be used in the manufacture of high-purity phosphate acid, phosphate and pesticides. Phosphorus pentoxide molecule is actually composed of 4 phosphorus atoms and 10 oxygen atoms, and its specific molecular structure is, in white 1 oxygen atoms are inserted into each phosphorus bond of the phosphorus molecule, and the remaining 4 oxygen atoms are connected to the 4 phosphorus atoms, respectively, through the coordination bonds linkage.it is precisely for this reason, so it's called phosphorus pentoxide. In fact, there is no P2O5, only P4010. Phosphorus pentoxide is a simplified form of tetraphosphorus 10 oxide, equivalent to the simplest form of organic matter. Because it is a solid substance, it does not affect its mass ratio when it reacts with other substances. As we all know, phosphorus pentoxide and tetraphosphorus oxide are actually the same material. Is phosphorus pentoxide toxic? Poisonous. Heat or encountered water releases heat. Releases toxic corrosive flue gas. Strong corrosive. Phosphorus pentoxide is the acid anhydride of phosphate. Can dissolve in water, release a large amount of heat, first form partial phosphoric acid, pyrophosphate, etc., and eventually become positive phosphoric acid. Hygroscopic moisture in the air. Contact with organic matter burns out. Contact with organic matter causes combustion risks. Phosphorus pentoxide can cause harm to the human body through inhalation and eating. It shows the same form of poisoning as white phosphorus within a few hours. Nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, diarrhea occurred, and jaundice occurred within a few days, and hepatomegaly, or acute liver necrosis, the most serious cases, patients within a few hours from excitement to inhibition, fainting fan, circulatory failure, and death. If inhaled phosphorus pentoxide, mild patients have headache, dizziness, vomiting, general weakness, moderate patients with more serious symptoms, upper abdominal pain, fast pulse, low blood pressure, severe poisoning caused acute liver necrosis and coma. What is phosphorus pentoxide used for? Phosphorus pentoxide is used in many industries. Feed field, as calcium hydrogen phosphate feeds and chemical fertilizer in the field of flame retardant, inorganic flame retardants such as red phosphate, ammonium phosphate, ammonium polyphosphate, boron phosphate, red phosphate, organic flame retardant such as halogen phosphorus. Food industry, as a quality improvement of phosphate and phosphate food additives such as sodium bisphosphate, sodium bisphosphate. Water treatment industry, as a water quality stabilizer, such as scale inhibitors. Organic or inorganic phosphate, esters, and dispersants such as sodium tripolyphosphate, sodium hexadephosphate, sodium hypophosphate. These salts are also buffers. Electronics industry, in P, GAP. And solid solvents of phosphate and INAS or GAAS are heavily used in the semiconductor industry, used as piezoelectric crystals are KH2PO4 and AlPO4, and high-purity hydrogen phosphate as dopant. Material surface treatment, ammonium subphosphate as soft solder. Calcium hypophosphate of nutrient enhancers, chemical plating reductant of sodium phosphate. Paint industry. Phosphate in paint, mainly as pigment with special functions into as flame retardant, rust, corrosion, radiation resistance, antibacterial. Light and other additives into paint. Green environmental wall paint, white jade wall paint, high light cold porcelain paint using sodium hexaderyl phosphate, sodium diene phosphate, tributyl phosphate. Reducing pigments such as including phosphate. Detergent industry, as a detergent agent such as sodium tripolyphosphate. What is phosphorus pentoxide in fertilizer? Being Y is it expressed as the pentoxide not P. It is simply a convention that, while no longer used in science, it is still used widely in the international fertilizer industry, though interestingly not in countries such as New Zealand. The convention came about in the 1800s when by far the most important analysis being conducted was the P and Ca content of phosphate rock, which contains little or no N. If you express the mineral nutrients in these roasted rocks as the most stable oxidation state oxide, the total adds up to 100%, which gives a tidy-looking result. This doesn't apply to manufactured fertilizers, especially those containing N, so N has always been expressed as N. Which fertilizer is high in phosphorus? Phosphorus element belongs to one of a large number of elements of plants, and the normal growth and development of all plants cannot completely leave the phosphorus element. Fertilizers with high phosphorus content mainly includes calcium superphosphate, heavy calcium superphosphate, monoammonium phosphate, diammonium phosphate, calcium and magnesium phosphate fertilizer, potassium dihydrogen phosphate, phosphate powder, etc. What is production method of phosphorus pentoxide? P4O10 is prepared by burning tetraphosphorus with a sufficient supply of oxygen. P4 plus 5O2 P4O10. For most of the 20th century, phosphorus pentoxide was used to provide a supply of concentrated pure phosphoric acid. In the thermal process, the phosphorus pentoxide obtained by burning white phosphorus was dissolved in dilute phosphoric acid to produce concentrated acid. Improvements in filter technology are leading to the wet phosphoric acid process, taking over from the thermal process, obviating the need to produce white phosphorus as a starting material. The dehydration of phosphoric acid to give phosphorus pentoxide is not possible, as on heating metaphosphoric acid will boil without losing all its water. What is storage condition of phosphorus pentoxide? Phosphorus pentoxide should store in a dry and clean warehouse. Relative humidity was kept below 75%. Stay away from fire and heat sources. The packaging must be sealed and do not be damp. Should be stored separately from flammable, combustible, alkali, etc. Not mixed storage and mixed transport. Pay attention to personal protection for packing and handling operations. Light loading and unloading when handling to prevent damage to packaging and containers. Should not be transported on rainy days.